Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22.
Today, I want to talk about confidence. And this came about because last night at practice, I had one of our running backs, and he was running around the outside, and all of a sudden his feet stopped moving. And when he came back to the huddle, I said, you have to be confident in the fact that you can outrun. What happened was he didn't think he could outrun the defender to the sideline, and so he just stopped his feet, and it ended up not working out for him. He pretty much got crushed. But the reason that I want to talk about it is he needs to be able to trust in himself, and so today I want to talk about confidence. Confidence is a big one right now in I think in sports with youth athletes, but not only in sports, in anything you gotta be confident in yourself. And so I hear the cliche by coaches all the time, you got to play with confidence, you got to overcome your fears. And the fact of the matter is, I don't see very many of those coaches teaching kids how to do that. So today, and by the way, this segment is in my online course where I go a little more in depth. I'm not going to give you all the information, but I think I could give you some of the information, and I like giving stuff away for free and hopefully get people to follow my information and my stuff. So confidence, my definition of confidence is your ability to trust in your preparation and coaching and what is to be expected from you either on the field of play or at your job or whatever it is, and to reach your full potential. Confidence can't be bought, and it usually comes from your skill, your previous successes. When you play with confidence, you relax and focus and trust in yourself. So lack of confidence usually means that you're afraid of something or you lack the trust in your preparation or coaching. And then there's overconfidence. And overconfidence is the opposite of lack of confidence. It's fake confidence. It's not real. And usually you can tell because it's with taunting or arrogance. And an arrogant athlete, when he's not successful, he blames everything on everyone else, the officials, his teammates, coaching, whatever it is. I found what the most successful athletes out there are humble and play with the inner confidence. They don't need to tell somebody how good they are. They let their actions speak for themselves. So that's the most successful athletes, at least that I found out there. In most cases, again, lack of confidence is lack of trust in your preparation, your coaching, or you're afraid of something. So let's talk a little bit. I talked a couple days ago in a live about fear of failure, but today I want to kind of go a little more in depth than just that. So the number one fear is fear of failure. This hurts your mindset. It makes you not trust yourself. You play with anxiety, tension. It affects your performance. You can't be passive. Passive players don't play, or they don't stay around long. If you want to make it to the next level, you must change your mindset. So that's the first thing, is fear of failure. Secondly, and it's hard to believe this, especially with athletes, but fear of success. And you think about that, you would think that every player wants to be successful. But when you have success, there comes a certain expectation in which a lot of people don't want that pressure. A lot of kids don't want that pressure. So they fear success. That's the second fear. Fear of injury. You can't play your best if you're afraid you're going to get hurt. I don't think you can play your best if you're afraid to get hurt. Fear of what others think. Too many athletes right now, they fear what their coaches, parents, siblings, fans, they fear what they think more than the thoughts they have about themselves. Fear of embarrassment. So let's break these down a little bit and see if we can't break down how you can eliminate those fears. So the first thing I say about fear is, first you got to be honest about fear. You've got to be honest with yourself about what worries you. What are you afraid of? You got to be honest about it. And then the second thing I tell people about fear is it valid? I mean, I think a lot of the things we fear are things that maybe aren't going to even happen and you're worried about them. So, again, is it a valid fear? Are you worrying about something that may never happen? If it is valid, if it is a valid fear, what are things you can do? There's 3 things that I think of that you can do. I think if you act as if what you fear is impossible to happen, it will help you overcome fear. The second thing is, don't concentrate on what you fear. Your imagination can take a worm and make it a snake. You become what you think and what you put in the most. Think positive, not negative. Feed your faith and you'll starve your fear. Those are some of the things that I believe in. I use a lot of feudalisms. Do what you fear the most and you'll have the power to overcome that fear. What's up, TJ? Appreciate having you. So how do we become more confident in sports and in life? What are the things? A lot of athletes, and again, I'm relating this to athletes because I'm a coach and I'm running a mental toughness training program, but a lot of athletes do really good in practice, but it doesn't transfer over to the games. Some of this could be due to the fact that the opponents that they face in practice aren't as talented as the teams they're playing, but some of it is a slippage in confidence, and that is a choice. So the greatest advantage a confident an athlete has over his competition is the trust in himself even when he's not playing well. They win the game in their head first, the mental game. Practice is 90% physical and 10% mental. In games or competition, it's 10% physical and 90% mental. So I think that's important, and why you may see. Next, preparation is the key. Here's another feudalism. Practice does not make perfect. Perfect practice makes perfect. So if you have focused, specific, efficient practices, I believe that builds confidence and helps you to be successful. You also have to embrace the grind, enjoy the journey. You've got to really embrace that part of it. That again, embrace the grind of practice. Commit yourself. Sometimes that commitment is hard if you don't really love the sport. You know, do you really love the sport, or do you really love what you do? Confident athletes ask questions and they're not ashamed about it. And they lose themselves in their ability to get better. Confident athletes are comfortable being uncomfortable. You grow the most when you're uncomfortable. I know a lot of my kids, when we're on the practice field and we're running them real hard, man, and we're just driving them and just doing sprints or up downs or whatever it is, I can tell, you know, they're getting ticked off. They want to take you out. But I get a big smile on my face because I feel like that's when they grow the most. When you've got to be, if you want to be successful, you've got to be comfortable getting uncomfortable. So get uncomfortable. For coaches, each week we study film of other teams so we can know their strengths and weaknesses. Athletes need to know their strengths and weaknesses. And actually in my training program, I have a portion of that program that is specified on taking someone's weakness and making it their strength. And I don't know if you ever heard of Dan Marley. Dan Marley was a basketball player here in Michigan, and when he was young, he was a post-up player, but when he got drafted into college, he wasn't as tall as some of the other guys. So he took, when he was in high school, you know, his outside shot wasn't very good, but when he got to college, he practiced his shots. He became one of the most prolific three-point shooters in NBA history. So just a little story there. Confident athletes are fearless. Fearless athletes love the battle. They're not afraid to fail. Failure is an opportunity to learn and grow. Low confident athletes play not to make mistakes. They play not to lose. You've got to have guts. You've got to have guts. No guts, no glory. Without risk, there's no reward. Too many athletes are busy comparing themselves to their opponents. The only battle is the battle within yourself to reach your full potential. That's all that could be asked for from you. Quit comparing yourself to others. Quit comparing yourself to other people. And then, you know, you might want to become more confident. Now you may know how to overcome your fears. You may take all these things in, but if you take no action, and I often say it's got to be massive action. You've got to do the extra set, the extra rep. You got to do. Champions are made by doing what others refuse to do in the countless hours when no one is watching. That's when champions are made.
Before you go is when our hearts get separated, crashing bright.